How we doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Very good.
I'm good.
So big game coming up on Thursday. What do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, we gave our guys yesterday off, so it's good getting 2 days to prep for them. They're obviously very talented. Got to watch them last night and seen them a lot on tape. So a team that can really put a lot of pressure on you. They get to the free throw line a lot. Very good dribble drive team. Very athletic team. So it's typical Kentucky team. They put a lot of pressure on you offensively, and they're very, very good defensively. So it's a challenge on both ends. It's not just a challenge on how to guard them. It's a challenge on how we get the shot that we need to get, and that's going to be our challenge.
Is there anything mental you need to do to get them ready for this game after kind of the way last year's game went?
Well, last year, obviously, we got shocked right from the beginning, and I think it was 24-0 before we even scratched. So going back and just kind of looking at all that, we were on our heels really early, and we can't be on our heels. If we get on our heels to the number one team in the country, similar things happen. That's what happens. So we've got to make sure that we start game, and not just the game, but the whole mindset of how we go about it has got to be very aggressive, and it's got to be very confident. And so we got enough guys that weren't here last year, and then the guys that were here last year, I think they've learned and picked themselves up from there, because we obviously had a good season leaving there. It wasn't like the whole year tanked because of that. So my hope is that the lessons that were learned have been learned, and you don't revisit that. If all of a sudden it is 20-0, you guys are more than welcome. Take the floor, get us a basket, do something. I don't really want to be sitting to another 24-0 start.
How do you guys think you match up with Kentucky this year?
Well, a little different. We're big. They're really starting. They really play without a center. Two very athletic foremen that really rebound the basketball extremely well, running the floor. You look at statistically through 7 games. There are some similarities other than the defense. They're defending right now at a higher level than what we are, and we're a work in progress right there. But as far as valuing the ball, rebounding, there's a lot of very similarities in that regard. I think the difference is through 7 games, they've been a much better defensive team than we have, and that's where we've got to continue to show growth.
Bringing the ball up against that kind of tough defense, are you thinking about doing what you did in the last game, maybe having Bryce handle a little bit more?
Yeah, I think you'll see that, but I think you'll see Aaron with it as well. I think we'll just play with that. I think if we get pressed, we can always have Jonah. If all of a sudden guys are denied, Jonah can bring the thing up pretty easily. Alex has already proven that he can do it. But, that primary ball handler that's going to get us in things to start with is going to be Bryce, and I think he's up for that challenge. He got to play against these guys, a lot of these guys last year. And then I know Aaron is very capable of doing it as well. So it's really about how smoothly we can get into an offense, get some passes, get some ball reversals, and make people guard. Kentucky does a very good job of speeding you up and making you play at a much higher rate that you want to play, kind of like the Coach Wooden days. They hurry you up, and you can't play in a hurry because it affects your decision making. I think that's going to be one of the keys of the game. We can't allow their defense to hurry us up into bad decisions. We've got to be able to make good decisions and get the shot that we want.
Big picture-wise, Kentucky has maybe been the best, arguably the best, or one of the best programs over the last few years, and I guess last few decades.
Right.
What in your mind has made them as successful as they are?
Well, I think they've been to Final Fours for the last 5 years, so they've done it at a very high level, and recruiting has had a lot to do with it. They've done a great job in recruiting, and Coach Cal, in my opinion, is one of the best of the best. Not only can he recruit, he knows how to set those guys up and make them be in positions where they can be very successful on the court. So you combine the coaching, you combine the players that are there, and then you're playing in front of 22,000 every night, and one of the it is a blue blood, and it gets supported at extremely high levels. So you combine all those things. They've been dominant in their league, and then so when that happens, you give yourself a chance when you get to March. And they've proven that they can advance in the tournament and do a lot of things extremely well in the tournament as well.
They have some facilities that are among the best
Anywhere.
basketball facilities anywhere. You guys are building a new basketball facility. Right. How important are those things in getting those recruits?
There's nothing more important, in my opinion, after the fact that you've You, as recruits, see who you are as people. Obviously, I think recruits want to play for good people, good character, coaching staff that cares much more than just about the wins and losses. They care about who you are as a person, what you do academically, what you do off the floor. Players want that. I was a player once, and I wanted that. And those things have not changed. Now, what has changed is when I played, having one pair of short shorts and a gray T-shirt, that sufficed. That's not the case anymore. It's an arms race. You're in an arms race, and you've got to understand that. And we're very thankful that before I even got here, there was incredible renovations done to Pauley to where this is one of the most beautiful venues anywhere. And now in 2017 in the fall, we'll move into a practice facility that is much, much needed. Not just in the areas of recruiting, but in the areas of development, to where our guys have a floor that they can go work on their game 24/7, because that's what players are really into today. And I think that's a positive. I think that's why you see the game, the talent continues to stride forward, and we've got to do that in facilities, and we're doing that. So very thankful for that.
Coach, you talked about Kentucky wanting to speed you guys up. How does their full court press that they run compare to UNLV's, and how does that help you guys?
Yeah, it's not so much full court pressing. I think they will do that, and we'll probably see that. Obviously, UNLV is more of a relentless 40 minutes of they're coming at you on the ball, extremely aggressive. Kentucky's more, at least what we've seen on tape, they may come at us harder. Who knows? I like our guard play. So, like against Vegas, we had a lot of times where we broke that press and we were playing 5-on-4 and 4-on-3, and that's an advantage to us. So we didn't turn the ball over in that game. It's been kind of the half-court issues, and we've gotten a lot better here in the last 2 or 3 games with that. But it's really their on-ball pressure. They do a really good job with on-ball pressure and just kind of bugging you enough that if they either hurry you up or they force you into some bad decision-making. And it's going to start with our guards, but our bigs have to handle the ball and do a very good job with their decision-making as well.
I think you said GG was going to get checked out again. What's his?
I'm still waiting. It's 3 o'clock today, and I have not heard anything. But today was supposed to be a day that he sees doctors. So we're hoping that we can at least get a timetable, because we're as frustrated as you and fans of not kind of getting a timetable. And it's kind of it's an odd one because of being a stress fracture. You kind of got to let it time to heal, and then you get new pictures of it. And I'm hoping those new pictures come sooner than later, just so that the medical staff can give us a little bit of an idea, even if it's 2 weeks to 4, but give us something that we can start planning about his return and adding depth to what we would like to do, especially in the front court.
Is that 2 weeks to 4 something that you expect, or just
I'm hoping.
Okay.
I'm hoping, because it's already been 6. So we're 6 weeks post basically his injury of when it was found, and we were thinking it was going to be 6 to 8 at that time. So hopefully we're inside 2 to 4, but I'm not we're at the mercy of how that leg is healing, and obviously we have the best of the best when it comes to the medical staff. So we just wait to see what their reports are, but we're trying to be optimistic in that it's going to be in that time frame.
What's the vibe like in the locker room amongst the players? Is there a lot more excitement to be playing Kentucky right now, #1 team, really showcasing that you guys can stand up to those guys?
Well, it's a unique deal in that you got 2 blue bloods, you got 2 of the winningest programs in the history of the game. One with 11 national titles, another one with 8. You look at first-round draft picks, you look at overall draft picks, you look at NBA All-Stars. I mean, Kentucky and UCLA are at the top of all these lists, and from Kentucky never have played here. That's unique in itself, and now we're celebrating 50 years of this building. You're going to have a gold out. I think we're going to have a sold-out arena. It's just going to be a special night. I don't want them getting too ramped up too quickly. So they had the day off on Monday, and it gives us 2 really good days of practice in preparation for what should be a very exciting game, and one that we're really looking forward to on Thursday night.
Yeah, last year you guys played at a neutral site. This year you guys play at home. Do you think the home crowd's definitely going to have an impact for your benefit?
Well, I hope so. I hope there's a lot more benefits in Pauley Pavilion than there was in Chicago, because there wasn't a lot of benefits in that game. But I think anytime 2 teams like this, it helps both. Obviously, we didn't fare very well in last year's contest, but in the big scope, it really helped us by the time the year was over. And I think Kentucky playing teams like ourselves, that helps them as well. So I think it's a good series to be in. We've got a neutral, now we've got a home and home. We'll play here this year, then we go to Rupp next year. So it's I think that's a really good home and home for fans. It's for the teams, the players, the coaches. I think everybody likes it.
What made you, or a lot of times in college basketball, they play neutral sites, and you guys did a home and home. What kind of made you interested in
Well,
doing
just
that?
talking to Cal. Cal, like us, we play a lot of neutral games, but you also need those home and homes. And because you play a lot of those neutral games, whether it be this year, like we played 3 in Maui, and we'll play Carolina and Brooklyn, that's 4 neutral games. And so when you do that, and you do it for a lot of exposure reasons and to play really good competition to get better, that limits what you can do in home and home series. So right now we're in a Gonzaga home and home series. We're in a Kentucky home and home series. Next year Gonzaga goes off, so we have to add another home and home series next year that starts here. So we're always trying to look to where we have one of those big home and homes at home and one of them on the road. So next year we're still searching for that home and home. We know we're going to Kentucky next year.
Kentucky, and I wasn't here in the beginning, so sorry this has already been asked, but Kentucky last year gave you guys problems at all, and what kind of?
Yeah, I mean,
How similar do
Kentucky.
they look?
No, you're very right. Now, Kentucky of last year gave everybody problems. They gave us a lot of problems on a certain day, but they gave a lot of teams. You know, I think they won 38, 39 straight games. So that was a very, very special team. And now here they are. You know, a year later, they're number 1 in the country, and they're 7-0. With, you know, have already beaten Duke and had some very good teams in their building that they've already beaten. So obviously a program that. They just slide different pieces in it, and Coach Cal does it as well as anybody. And so it's a tremendous challenge for us as we're a growth in progress and still searching for our identity. You know, we're still trying to find those answers, and the guys are working very, very hard, and we've made some strides in the last 2 weeks, and we're going to have to make some big strides on Thursday to give ourselves a chance to win in the end. If we don't, then that'll be a tough challenge for us, but hopefully we can continue to grow.